Hey everyone, today we're jumping into something that is truly reshaping how business gets done in Canada. Call to Action 92. We're going to break down what it really means for corporations and, why it's so much more than just a policy. It's basically a roadmap for success. So it all really comes down to this one central question, right? What is the actual role of business in reconciliation? It's a huge question for sure, but the Truth and Reconciliation Commission gave us a really clear, structured answer, specifically for the corporate world. And here it is. Call to Action 92 isn't some vague, feel-good suggestion. It's a direct call for companies to adopt the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, you'll hear it called UNDRIP, as their main framework. And this isn't about abstract ideas. It's about applying these principles directly to company policy and to the core things a business does every single day, especially when it involves Indigenous peoples, their lands, and their resources. We're talking about real, tangible change here. Okay, but to act in a meaningful way, we first have to understand the why behind all this. And that means we've got to start with the history, because that's the foundation for everything that comes next. Think about it. For thousands of years before Europeans even arrived, the land we now call Canada was home to this incredible, complex tapestry of diverse nations. Each one had its own language, its own customs, its own way of governing. The arrival of settlers and colonization, well, it profoundly and often devastatingly disrupted all of that. Just acknowledging this history is really the first step toward building respectful relationships today. And, a huge, painful part of that history is the legacy of residential schools. It's left a mark on Indigenous communities and on all of Canadian society that's still felt very deeply today. Understanding these ongoing effects isn't just a history lesson. It's essential for cultivating the empathy that's required to be an informed and inclusive leader. Now, this is absolutely crucial to get. These points you see here, they aren't just history lessons. They are living, breathing, legal and ethical frameworks that guide how businesses have to operate today. Treaties are legally binding agreements. Aboriginal rights are protected by the Constitution, and UNDRP provides that global standard. This is the landscape corporations are working in right now. So, with that foundation in place, we can start to shift our focus from the why to the how. Let's dig into the essential skills that are needed to turn all this knowledge into respectful, everyday practice. First up, intercultural competency. On one side, you've got communication that's just unaware of cultural differences, and that is a recipe for misunderstanding and offense. But on the other side, when you build that competency, you're actively creating better communication, better collaboration, and even more innovation. It literally transforms potential friction into a major strength for your teams. And that flows right into our next skill, conflict resolution. Look, disagreements are going to happen, right? But when they come from really different values or communication styles, they can totally tank productivity. The goal isn't to pretend conflict doesn't exist, but to actually equip your teams to manage these differences in a constructive way, creating a space where all these diverse perspectives can really thrive. And finally, this is a big one. The critical difference between just having unconscious bias and practicing active anti-racism. Simply being unaware of your biases, well, that allows the systemic problems to just keep on going. Anti-racism, on the other hand, is a proactive practice. It's something you do. It means actively working to take apart systemic racism through ongoing education and real policy changes to build a truly equitable company culture. Okay, so now we have the context and we have the skills. The final piece of the puzzle is putting it all together into a concrete, actionable plan. This is the practical roadmap for making reconciliation a reality in the business world. This framework is a pretty logical progression. It starts with the target, and this is key. Training has to reach everyone, from the C-suite right down to the interns. The approach can't be some generic one-size-fits-all program. It has to be comprehensive and culturally sensitive. All of this works toward the goal, which is building your company's actual capacity for meaningful economic reconciliation. And the ultimate outcome? The real prize? Getting beyond just transactions to build authentic partnerships and relationships that actually last. And this really gets to the heart of it. This work is not just about a moral obligation. As this quote says, making this commitment actually cultivates a collaborative environment that is absolutely essential for long-term success. It's good for society, and frankly, it's really good for business. So that leaves us with one final, powerful question that every single organization really needs to ask itself. When it comes down to it, are you truly building genuine, sustainable relationships, or are you just checking a box? The answer to that question will define the future of reconciliation in corporate Canada.